And then I just need to make sure that I mute
Awesome.
the group before we start talking because it'll kick back.
Yep.
Group before we start talking because it'll kick back. Okay. And there's a weird delay, so I'm going to try really hard to make sure that I watch on the Zoom for you and that I don't watch the live. So I guess maybe I can pull it up on my phone and then that way I can still see the comments, but the delay weirds me out. I was like watching myself when I tested it out earlier.
That's funny.
Okay.
I need to add something.
So I see us. We're there. Okay. Thank you for being patient with us. I know we're like 5 minutes behind, but I wanted to make sure that this was going to work. And it took us a minute to figure something out. So yeah, but I am so excited. There is a ton of you in this group. And this should be a really exciting event. I'm Shantae Sachs. I'm a diamond leader with It Works Global. And if you've ever been to an It Works party before that's online, usually we just post about a bunch of different products, give you a little bit of tidbit about each product, and then you chat with your distributor. And one of the things that I feel like people miss is why our supplements are so important and why us being a natural plant-based company is so amazing. And so I got to meet this gorgeous girl that's with me 2 weeks ago now when we went to a big one team one mission with Pam Souter, and her knowledge is just insane and it got me so excited. And so I asked her if she would be willing to let me interview her. So I'm going to let her share a little bit of her story and introduce herself. So take it away when you're ready.
Okay. Where do you want me to start?
Well, first tell us who you are because I don't want to take that from you. And then what do you do?
Okay, so my name's Candace. I live in Spokane, Washington, and I've been doing that for 10 years.
You've been a pharmacy tech for 10 years? Oh, you're cutting in and out.
Oh, can you, is that better?
There you go. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I've been a pharmacy tech for 10 years.
So what is it that caught your eye about It Works?
Okay, so my sister was introduced to the products through another distributor who I actually, she kept hounding me about it because it helped her with her health after having mono. And I'll give you my background here in a minute, but she just kept asking and asking and asking and asking. So I think she probably asked me to try the products like 8 or 9 times before I actually did. And, yeah. And I think the first product I honestly ever tried was the greens.
Okay, very cool. Greens are good. Okay, so you said you're a pharmacy tech. So did you kind of have, I guess I'll call it like a prejudice against being open to a company that sells a bunch of health and wellness supplements?
Yeah, definitely.
So what is it then as a pharmacist tech? Because I feel like that is so important when you share with us. What is it that you look for in a supplement that you are comfortable taking?
That is whole food. It's not synthetic, and I'll go over the difference, but like the difference in how it actually affects your body and is digested into your body and absorbed is completely different than, say, from synthetic vitamins.
Yeah, I agree. So I guess, to dive into more of that deeper, what are the 3 products that you're going to talk with us about tonight, and why is it that you picked those 3?
I picked greens and it's Vital Core. Those are the first 2 I ever tried. And then I also picked Confianza, which I started taking last October.
Okay, so a while now, almost. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. So I guess then, why greens, and what is different? Because there are a lot of greens powders, a lot.
There's a ton of greens powder, and I'll just name one of them that I've tried, and Barlean's greens
Okay.
are disgusting. They get super thick. Well, you probably know, you've been a trainer for how long? So you know, yeah, they're gross. And I think partly why I like our greens is they don't get thick and the flavor stays consistent, which is really nice, as the Barleans don't. Another reason why, and I didn't realize why I chose greens to begin with. My sister really pushed me to start the greens, but little background on my health. In my early 20s, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis and chronic migraine syndrome. So I was getting migraines every single day. And let's see, how long has it been since I've had a migraine? It's been about 16 months since I've actually had a migraine.
Wow.
Which was big for me because I was getting them every single day. And the only way that I was controlling them was through medication. When I started taking these products together, I was able to finally wean off the medication that I was taking daily and not have to take it anymore at all. So.
Wow. Okay. So for those who don't know, and I didn't catch the first half of it, you said you have something colitis and then you get them. What is that? What is colitis?
So colitis is an inflammatory bowel disease. So it affects the large intestine. So most people aren't familiar with ulcerative colitis. They are familiar with Crohn's disease.
Okay.
They're similar. Crohn's disease is a little different, but for most people, if you can get the gist of it. But what it does is your immune system attacks your colon and basically tries to kill it because it thinks it's foreign.
That's crazy. That's gotta add. I mean, just thinking off the top of my head, that has to make life fairly challenging at times, because I think that sometimes people don't realize how important your colon health is to all the rest of your health.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to let you dive into, I think, if you wouldn't mind, I would say start with Confianza, because when we got to chat again the other night on the Zoom and we were talking about that, there was so many other things in my head that like were dusting off the cobwebs from training that were like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. So share with us a little bit about Confianza and what you love about it. And is there even a product that you could walk into a Walgreens or a Super Supplements or a vitamin shop and get that is like our Confianza that you know of?
Not that I know of. I mean, you might be able to go in and find like the different components and put them together.
Okay, so you'd probably be spending a
lot of money.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. I'm gonna go over, there's 5 ingredients in it. I'm just gonna read through them because I feel like that's super important. I don't want to throw things out there that say that this is what it's gonna do. I'm gonna share the ingredients and what I've researched, what these ingredients can do for you. That way I'm not claiming that it does things. Because that's important that we don't do in this company. So the first one that is in there is called Epimedium grandiflorum, and then the second one is called Puncture Vine. Both of those are the main thing that they do is they help increase people who have low sex drive or just like super tired all the time, have a really hard time getting like that upbeat feeling.
You got out on us again.
Oh, where did I miss?
I'm gonna say that I think you just said something about somebody's sex drive.
Yeah. So,
okay.
those 2 ingredients help with sex drive.
Okay.
Which for some of us, we need the extra help. Let's see. Third ingredient is called Siberian ginseng root. It is meant to help boost mental performance, helps regulate or stimulate the appetite, and increases stamina. So a lot of people who do triathlons and long distance running and stuff will add that to their diet because it helps with their stamina.
Okay.
There's golden root extract. It's an adaptogen, so it adapts to what your body's needs are and helps people with high stress to cope better, increases memory, and helps with mental stability and maintain weight. And then the one ingredient that is probably my favorite is called Schisandra fruit. It increases energy, fights fatigue with natural anti-inflammatories, and improves concentration. So the big thing that this does is it combats the stress in like all different aspects of your life. But what it also does is it actually combats stress, the stress hormones in your bloodstream to
Okay.
help combat, like, let's see, the big one is cortisol. So for those of you who don't know what cortisol is, that when you're stressed out, memory loss, fatigue, pain, so chronic pain, people who are like highly stressed out and are in chronic pain, this can help with that. So I'm trying to think what else. It's just, this is my favorite product by far.
Well, and I left you when we were talking the other night, and you were saying that it helps combat the stress and that it's going to give the body what it needs. Because Star had shared with us that she was talking to Kay Shroud, oh my gosh, I cannot say her last name right now, Souter, and she was saying that she's having a lot of loyal customers that are having amazing success adding ThermoFit with Confianza. Why would that be? Tell us why that is.
So you start working out, a lot of people work out, well, 90% of us live high stress lives anyways. So the ThermoFit's going to boost your metabolism with the what's capsaicin or the capsicum or however you say it. But the Confianza is going to help like combat the stress hormones in your body, so your body can actually get the maximum benefit. That way it's not trying to do two different things at once.
Yeah, because when your body is stressed, can you actually lose weight?
No. The more stress you get, the more cortisol your body builds, which means you're storing more fat, you're having more inflammation, and probably less sleep. I mean, one of the biggest reasons the cortisol is such a big killer in America is because the average American sleeps like 4 to 5 hours a night. The average person needs 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night, and sometimes women need even more.
Isn't that crazy? I know I'm trying to read some of the comments that are going through right now, but that was just like, I know for me who had a baby and he's now 2 and I'm still carrying some baby weight. I'm like, oh my word, what is going on? And then I look at my day-to-day life where, you know, I'm a military spouse and I'm on my own most of the time. To say life is stressful is kind of, that's just funny. I mean, that should become life. But that was such a huge moment for me where I was like, oh my word, Confianza and ThermoFit need to go hand in hand for me, because I mean, I wake up and I try and be like, okay, we've got today, it's going to be good. But from moment one, when both kids are up in the morning, it is stress, whether you want it to be or not. It's still, there's a timeline, there's teeth, there's homework, there's backpacks, there's lunches, there's all of that. So yeah, I think that a lot of times we just get in the flow of accepting stress and we don't even maybe realize that why it's normal, our body is still stressed out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one was so like, I love that. I'm so excited. Yeah, Star says that she started doing it after that conversation. Okay, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I've been referring to it as natural Xanax without all the side effects that Xanax gives you.
Nice. Natural Xanax. That's good. Okay, so the next one that I think that you should dive into is the It's Vital, and I think that people forget about It's Vital a lot, but I know for me that it's personally one of my favorites as well. So what is It's Vital?
It's Vital is honestly, it is our whole food natural multivitamin on steroids. Is the best way I can describe it. There's so much packed into 3 little tablets that you take every single day. When I started taking it, I was having really bad IBS problems because I might have been in remission for a while, but my IBS was terrible. And I started taking this and it really is, I was miserable. I was not a happy person and I was in chronic pain and running back and forth to the bathroom like 3 to 7 times a day still. Yeah. Which is much better than it was. But like this stuff is awesome and I can go over it really quick. I'm trying to keep it quick for people.
I'm watching time for you. I got you on time. So you go.
Okay.
So, yeah, go ahead.
So Its Vital Core is a whole food and phytonutrient dense vitamin. So it's not going to be created in a lab. And I'll go over why it's important. We'll go over that afterwards, I think, the importance natural and synthetic. Okay. And then it's time release. So it's got a patented time release. So your body's getting what it needs over the course of 12 hours. Most people digest their vitamins okay. But this makes it so that your body gets what it needs over the course of anywhere between 8 to 12 hours, depending on the person. And it's coated with a nice minty flavor. So for those of you guys who don't like tasting their vitamins, this one's really nice because it tastes like mint. And if you're more prone to stomach upset, the mint helps calm the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go into the different blends. It's a whole food complex. It's a mind, body, energy blend, which helps your mind to focus. Support blend, which is my favorite, helps support a healthy digestive tract, which is important for your immune system. Metabolic support helps boost your calorie burn so that you're more effective at burning calories. It's got an immune support, cardio support, which helps benefit your heart and your lungs so they function the way they're supposed to. And it's got an antioxidant phytonutrient complex that helps with inflammation.
Wow. Okay. I knew some of those things because Star had actually told me a few months ago too that it had the metabolic support, which again, I mean, any help that I can get as an older woman now, I mean, yeah, okay, no, I'm older. I'm 30s. I get to say that. I'm
I think I'm still older than you.
Yeah, I'm getting older. Things are slowing down. They don't work as quickly as they did when I had my first kid at 21. So yeah, I think I'm blown away at when you start peeling back and actually educating yourself on It's Vital, how amazing. It's not just a multivitamin. It is, like you said, it's one on steroids, I think it was you said.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. I love It's Vital. What is our last one? Greens. What makes our greens so amazing? And actually, I have one more question because you shared a little bit about your story. And there's some people that take greens to help them go. So when you introduce greens and you're talking about having the colitis and the IBS, was green something that increased that or did help?
I think at first it might have increased it, honestly, a little bit. But I think what it did was help give my digestive tract the support that it needed to actually be healthy and grow the microflora in my gut to help regulate things so that I could actually digest and absorb my food. And you froze. Does that mean I'm frozen?
Nope, you're not frozen. You're good.
Okay. But when I started taking them, we still had the old greens, and I feel like I do much better with the new greens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people, I think there was quite a few people that were maybe a little bit sensitive to soy that maybe didn't realize it. And so I think that now that we have them soy free, I feel like it's just like they were right. They took it to a whole nother level with the greens this past summer. So what makes, you talked a little bit at the beginning about our greens being so much better blending, tasting than other greens, but why does somebody need a green supplement?
Because most people don't digest their food well, and we don't tend to get the amount of nutrients we need out of our food anymore because everything is so mass produced and the soil's so cultivated. Like they're not replenishing the soil and that we're growing our fruits and vegetables in. So most of us aren't getting what we need. And for people like me who had a really bad, what's the word? Oh my gosh, pregnant brain. I had a very damaged gut. Mm-hmm. So for me to be able to get the what I needed out of stuff, it took a lot of work for my body to absorb that, and I honestly wasn't getting what I needed.
Got it.
This is readily absorbable into your body.
And I love what you just said too, because I have a lot of people who are like, well, if you just eat healthy food, then you should be able to get everything you need. And I think that you just talking to about the soil and touching on that is so huge. And that's why we're seeing more people that are coming up with, allergies or intestinal issues. And it is because our culture is changing and growing, and they're changing how things used to be. And so that's why even like things like gluten allergies and intolerances or soy intolerances are coming up, because we're no longer putting back in that same nutrients into our food in all of the processes on every level like we used to. We're trying to do it quicker, better, faster, because there's more. Like we're growing, changing world, and we're shortchanging some of the things that are really important. So yeah, I think that's huge, because I do, even as a trainer background, I know that yes, healthy food and diet are uber important, very top, but I absolutely know that there is no possible way that you are going to get everything nutrient wise that your body is needing without some help from some supplements. And then I think that too, let's roll into that synthetic versus natural, because taking synthetic things, I know for me, when we talk about taking ThermoFit, which we're not going to talk about tonight, but something that helps boost your metabolism versus taking a synthetic one, it makes me ill. I would get shaky, I would get nauseous, I would get lightheaded, to the point that there was some that I would take that I'd actually have to go home and like go to sleep and just let my body try and like flush it out, because I would get that just in my body. So why is this so important? This is like the big question tonight. Why is synthetic so horrible for you compared to a natural supplement?
So when you look under a microscope at, like, say, let's take folic acid, because that's the most common thing that everybody knows about is folic acid. Folic acid is a synthetic version of folate. When you look under a microscope at both of them right next to each other, they look identical. But when you refract light through it, the synthetic refracts it two different ways, and the folate, which is the natural, only refracts light one way. So it's kind of like, I was thinking about this earlier, and I wish I could remember what I was saying. Shoot. I had a really good example and I totally lost it. But it's like taking an apple and printing it with a 3D printer, and it looks exactly the same, right? But you know that they're not. It's kind of the same concept.
Okay.
Sort of. I mean, that's the best thing I can think of. I had a really great example earlier today, and now I cannot think of it. So it's kind of like it was sugar. Ha. So if you were to take regular sugar, that's in its natural form, your body knows what to do with it. Is it still probably not great for you? Yeah. But then you take aspartame, your body reads that as being sugar, but it also knows that it's not sugar, which means that it's going to cause memory loss, and it's going to cause you to store more fat and all of that. So do they look similar under a microscope? Yeah, but they're not. They're completely different. So natural versus synthetic. And they also, when I was redoing my research online, someone compared it to taking drugs. Your body doesn't know what to do with drugs, so what does it do? You know? I work in a really rough neighborhood, and I see a lot. So you see what drugs do to you. Well, synthetic is kind of the same way. Your body might see it as being like a supplement, but your body doesn't necessarily know how to digest it and process it through. That's why when you take a TUM, which is not a natural calcium, that's why we end up with calcium deposits. That's why we end up with gallbladder issues. That's why we end up with kidney stones. I had a clogged duct in my tongue last year from a calcium deposit from taking things that weren't necessarily natural, you know? So, I mean, it builds up in your system over time. I mean, you can take too much iron and overdose on iron, and vitamin K. I mean, you can take too much vitamin K, and like, your body knows it's a supplement, but it doesn't know exactly how to process the supplements.
Okay, so then from what I'm hearing from that, as somebody who does not have the same science brain as yours, so then from what I'm hearing you say, then that would mean that if you're taking a natural plant-based thing that are things that your body recognizes, when you put that into a supplement, it's able to then say, oh, okay, I know what to do with this, and then go and actually use it, rather than the synthetic ones where it's like, I don't know what that is. And okay, so really then as well, that tells me as a consumer that when I'm going to buying all of these over-the-counter things that tell me that they're going to do such and such things, that if my body can't recognize what it is, that I'm probably not going to get the same benefits from that over-the-counter medicine, or well, not medicine, supplement, because my body can't actually use it. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And you don't always know the quality that you're getting as well.
Yeah. I mean, which I think is huge.
Yeah. We see it in the news all the time where they've done, or even on Facebook, where they've sent out a study saying that they went to Walmart, Safeway, Walgreens, all these big drugstore chains, and done reviews on their supplements, and you're not even actually getting what they're advertising.
Mm-hmm. Which to me is so scary. It's so scary. My husband and he thinks that I'm like hippie-ish. And yeah, and he's like, but like, he's like, I feel fine and I'm healthy now. And I'm like, well, yeah, maybe now. But I mean, if I'm going to live 90 some odd years, I'd rather be the healthiest I can, even if something, something else knocks me out early. I at least want to be the healthiest version of myself that I can be. Because then I think about it too. I'm like, God, if you're taking all of these horrible supplements for yourself, then that would knock you off of lists of being like an organ donor or things like that. Because just because you can't see the effects on the outside doesn't mean that it's not drastically harming the inside.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I loved that. I'm just trying to read some of the comments from you guys, but make sure that I was staying there and staying active. Does anybody have a question? Because I'm telling you, I mean, she is pregnant, so, pregnancy free little, but she just knows so much more on, that deeper layer of why our supplements are so amazing. And it makes me so excited to have her as a sideline and be able to tap in and share this with you guys and use it. And like I said, I think this is so beneficial, even if you're not taking an It Works supplement right now, but you are taking other supplements, to really maybe go and do some research on the supplements that you're taking, and get back with the person that invited you to come learn with us today, because we might have something that could replace the synthetic version of what you're already taking. And if you're going to pay the money, you might as well get the best value for your dollar and your body that you possibly can, in my opinion. Especially after hearing that, I don't know how you go back to then taking foreign supplements. So yeah, I think there's a delay on my end, so I can't actually see if there are any questions.
We'll give it a minute.
I love it.
Can't see the questions.
I think your sister said that you're so much happier.
I am extremely happy. when I first started taking the products, I was in so much chronic pain. I have fibromyalgia as well. So I didn't even want people to touch me. I didn't want to even wear clothes because that's how bad I hurt. It used to make my husband really mad because he'd want to touch my leg and I'd be like, don't touch me,
Yeah.
So even
that's crazy.
Something as simple as a hug was excruciating. So it's really done so much positive for my body. And I think too, something to really touch on is someone who is chronically sick, either with a digestive health, headaches, or anything chronic to your body that's inflammatory, which most things that are going wrong with our bodies are caused from inflammation. It's really important to note that it's not going to be taking a supplement for 1 week to a month to get the results that you want and see the difference. You're probably going to have to continue taking that supplement for 3 to 6 months for most of us before we actually start to notice a difference. The greens I probably took for 3 months before I noticed a huge drastic change. When I added the It's Vital Core, it took me probably another 2 or 3 months before I started saying, hey, well, hey, guess what? I don't hurt. You know, so in my digestive health, it took probably, or my migraines took a full year of taking these supplements before they all went away. So it takes time for them to heal or help what's going on in your body, because you can't always see it. I mean, going on with my migraines. they just decided to put me on more medicine. So the more medicine I took more medicine for it because that medicine was causing something else, so.
Right. So we do have a question. Somebody wants to know, because you were talking about inflammation. So they want to know that if It's Vital would help with, could possibly help with symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis because of the inflammation that you talked about. Oh, and she froze, and I can't answer that question for you.
Possibly their supplement I would recommend as well for you, which is Relief. If you want. So It's Vital Core, yes, I could say it probably would help a little bit. It's got turmeric in it, which is a root extract that's a natural, it's kind of like a natural aspirin, but better. It doesn't have the side effects. But the other thing I would highly recommend, which we didn't go over today, is something called Relief. And I would definitely do your research on that. If you want the information, reach out to whoever it was that invited you, and we can send you the product information on that. But that one's a really good natural supplement for pain.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, if there are more questions, feel free to post, because we can always go back and answer the questions. And I'm sure that Candace wouldn't mind jumping in and helping out with those questions. I hope that you guys, let's talk. Okay, hold on. One more. Star said, okay, well, we're not going over New You, but Confianza. She said, let's talk sleep. Is Confianza something that can help with sleep?
Yeah. I know that when I struggle with sleep, I struggle with getting my brain to turn off. The Confianza is amazing at just helping calm my mind and helping my mind to focus or just turn off. New You, I would only recommend for anybody over the age of 30.
And why is that?
It's not formulated for those people under the age of 30.
Yeah. So I have a younger brother who wanted to also get bigger muscles. He's oh my God, my brain, and I'm not pregnant. He does crew, but it naturally helps stimulate the human growth hormone. And when you're still young, that is thriving and doing its thing and working well. And then once we hit 30, that human growth hormone, your body's not like, it's not young. It doesn't need to grow up anymore, is how I like to say it. And that human growth hormone starts to slow down. That's why it's harder to get back in shape after you're 30. That's why it takes longer to build muscle, maintain muscle, all of those things, because that human growth hormone is so important for that. And that's why little kids too can heal so much faster. So New You is also great for that. I know we talked a little bit about our night too, that you will, because you hit that deeper level of sleep with New You, that you can have some crazy dreams.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that next time we'll just keep going through the products, and as long as she's willing to continue to share all the science, because that's not my forte, I'm so happy to continue to do these. And if there's a product that you really want to know more on, and we have enough people that feel the same, then I'd be happy to highlight that product for you guys. Like, I know too, I'm dying to maybe get your take, and maybe even Star's take on hair, skin, and nails. Maybe even Kiana. So yes. So I'm going to get it off because that was just a little bit over 30 minutes. I don't want to keep you guys too long. And like I said, we will do these again. So I appreciate that you guys hopped into the group so that we could make it happen like this, because it is amazing to me that her and I get to have this interview and then also share it with all of you on Facebook, and that you guys still get to interact. Sometimes technology blows my mind. So thank you so much I know that you did some research too to make sure that you felt super comfortable. So I just appreciate you pouring into all of the people in this group tonight. It was amazing.
You're welcome. I do this to the pharmacists at work. They hate me for it.
Well, we love it. So give it to us. All right. So I'm going to take us out, and I will talk to you guys all later. Have a good night.
Night.